Hello, everybody. This is Chris, and welcome to the Stewart Buzz. Look who we have. We have Blake sitting next to us, and Blake is actually going to talk to us about what the next step is in the amazing journey that he's having. Okay, so the few of you that have seen the RV with Martin Luther King and JFK and the moonwalk and the beautiful eagle in the front. Who else is on there? I'm not sure.
Donald Trump.
Oh, okay.
The Constitution.
Right. And with the hand up, saying fight, fight, fight. I watched that. What is your next step, Blake? And how do you go about doing it? Like, how do you sit down and plan your day?
Oh, with this, it's really difficult to really just plan your day out because something always changes on a dime when you're with it. But our biggest thing that we've noticed is we talk to a lot of people from up north, like Massachusetts, New York, Connecticut, and you notice they have a hesitancy about being as outspoken about their beliefs. Whether it's they have a career, they own a business, they're afraid to stand up for what they believe in because they will lose their jobs, they will lose their business will take a hit because it's in a very blue area. So a direction that we've kind of been going towards more is just either empowering people to stand up for morals and common sense and freedom, right? Where you can vote for who you want to vote for, and just because you don't want a man in a girl's bathroom doesn't make you a homophobe. Okay.
Correct. Just makes you logical.
Exactly. And the people that can't, or don't want to have a voice because they're afraid for their businesses, we'll be their voice for them. So we've decided that within our memberships that we have for $20 a month, they're going to be involved in not only our organization, but they will have monthly Zoom meetings with us to do a question and answer, address their concerns. And the blessing that we have of being in Florida is we talk to people from all across the world. We have Canadians, we have New Yorkers, we have Californians, we have it all here. And so when they go back home, whether they're on vacation or they're snowbirds, they're seeing a totally different world than we see, especially in our little bubble here of Martin County, right? And so I feel it's very important to be able to talk to those people and allow them to address their concerns. And with our organization, we can address it for them and be their voice.
So you do have a website. I did see the website. Yes. Can you tell people your website?
Yes, it's logicalconservative.com. And all of our social media is on there. Our memberships are on there. If you want to do a quick donation for diesel fuel that helps keep the motorhome running across the country. Our next step is Connecticut. We have some people planning to have us take a northeast
Good up
ride.
Going up some of those hills and mountains over there.
Yeah.
Jeez, that should be fun.
Oh, yeah.
So I've seen some of your backlash on some of these things, and I'm wondering if you fix those. Last we talked is that it was fixed, but is it really?
This is the thing. Once you show somebody some mercy and they ask for your help and you give them the help that they asked for, right? Once they think everything is all fine again, they show their cards again and they decide to be a jerk.
So they go backwards again?
They go back on their word. Yes, exactly. So we had, planned. Actually, we went to Oak and Ember and sat down and had that little meeting with everybody.
Right.
And Kyle Green for his inappropriate comments about, Mike and telling him to go back to California. And I won't hit on that as much, but, it was inappropriate nonetheless, and it showed what kind of a man he is for that.
Oh, I didn't know he was a man. I thought he was a kid.
Well, basically. And so... that was disrespectful. We texted Kyle. He did delete the comment or the status he made on Facebook. But when we text him about making a post saying, recanting what he said, he wouldn't respond. It was radio silence, won't answer the phone, won't respond to the text. So, a real man would step up and say, I was wrong. These guys aren't that bad. And I know that because that's what I would do, right? But he can't do that, and not everybody can be, a stand-up guy. So,
but you're not. your average age group. So you seem to be a little bit more mature than, so say, maybe the Kyles or the Mitches in the world. And I just feel that there's just certain people that, and I'm not saying you're trying to change anybody. What I am saying that you're educating, you're making people aware of things that they may not have known, which is pretty cool. You're spreading the word that the world is about to change all over again, and for the better. So those naysayers, and they're not many, but you have to come across a few, I'm sure.
Oh, every day.
And how do you deal with the naysayers? And how do you stay positive with the naysayers? Because some of them can be pretty brutal.
Well, it's very simple. I don't take advice about finances from a homeless person. So a lot.
That homeless person could be rich, though. I mean, it can be.
A lot of the time, when you have nothing but misery and hate in your heart, then you're already a loser, and I feel sorry for you.
I found watching some of your videos, and I saw they have a lot of complaints about Donald Trump having 5 kids.
Oh, it's all they go on now.
I don't understand so Musk has 12 kids, but what's the big deal of the president of the United States having 5 kids?
They're trying to pull there's not a big deal, by the way. There's no big deal about it, but what they're trying to go on is that conservatives are mainly Christian value, a lot of them. And so they're trying to call us hypocrites and everything, but what they lack is actually knowledge of the Word of God. And because if you're going on the Christian basis of religion, in the Word of God, He used all imperfect people and to transform them. And that's how, because if God took somebody that was already perfect, that He would have nothing to do, and He couldn't show He is God. He takes people from the dirt and He raises them out of it.
So, but what I don't understand, having 5 kids is bad.
It's not.
I had a friend of mine, Danny, growing up, and his family was 8 altogether, and that was the most wonderful family I know. They were Christian. I mean, if I have 2 kids, if I had 5, does that make me not Christian? I'm not sure about that. Are they with different women? Hello, let me just wake everybody up here. It is 2025. There is this crazy world called, and it's crazy things that call divorce, and then you get remarried again. I can't say that's a sin. It's a sin in certain religions, but if you're married and you get married again without getting divorced, then I would think that's against the law here in America anyway. But I don't see anything wrong if the marriage didn't work, you get divorced, you get remarried. If you have another kid, so be it. If you don't have another kid, that's great. I don't understand what they're riding on here, because I now think there's a bit of a stretch.
What's funny is, after all the hoaxes that from the first 6 months of Trump's first term in 2016, 2017, right? When he got in office, they were riding on the Russia hoax, okay?
Russia.
Yeah, remember that? It was nothing but Russia. So they have gone from hoax to hoax to hoax to hoax to hoax, and nothing has stuck. Not even when they tried to throw him in jail. Not even when the FBI
numerous times.
Yes. Not even when the FBI raided the Mar-a-Lago, right? They have nothing to go on. So now they're going to his moral character.
Right.
And they're trying to, but then that shows that you're judging other people and you're walking on water over here.
Right. So you're a hypocrite. So I'm going to say something that you may not know because you're younger than me. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Back in the day, in the 80s and the 90s, he would go on these TV shows and talk politics.
Mm-hmm. I watched them.
Talk that, and everybody always asked him, would you run for president? In the beginning, it was like, no, I'm not doing that.
Oprah.
Yeah, he was on Oprah doing it as well. And so this is nothing new to Donald Trump. He was always involved in politics. So if you're saying, well, gee, he's not qualified, he wasn't really in politics. Well, the dude that was a teacher that jumps around like a clown. I'm sorry, but I just can't deal with the dude, to be honest with you, because he reminds me of Bozo. I can't help it. He does look funny, doesn't he? So he has experience. Let's go one step further. Let's talk about Ronald Reagan, okay, which nicknamed the Great Communicator. He was an actor.
Yep.
Okay, then he became a governor. Okay, then he became a president. But like in the beginning, he was an actor. And to me, when that man spoke as president of the United States of America, everybody listened. It was just important to listen to him. Yes, Donald Trump is a bit raw.
But that's why I like him.
But his message is real. Look what he has done since the beginning to now. It's just mind-blowing. But some people think that it's wrong. So let me just set somebody straight, and you can just agree with me or disagree with me. It doesn't. The people that he's getting rid of, by the way, he's not killing them or anything like that, but he's putting back to where they belong, are the people that are gang members, are people that were in jail at one point. They're not, Joey that lives next door to you that was like this just great, wonderful guy. I actually know that I know somebody that ICE knocked on their door and ICE asked for his papers. He showed them the papers. They said, okay, sorry to bother you. You have a great day. Because he was legally here.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to start trouble. He wasn't anybody bad. But, what does it take to get the United States back? You have to take drastic measures to get the United States back to where it was. And I guess you're taking part in that by, educating. And I am going to use the word educating. Sorry, you may not like that, but I'm going to use that because it is an education. And when people stand around the bus, they want a picture around the bus, but they'll also ask you questions like, "What's it about?" Like, "What's going on?" Like things like that. And I'm sure you have a spiel that you say, but it's probably from the heart and it's not written down on paper.
No,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is that the agenda isn't just to make a boatload of money and drive around and be an instigator. That's what I'm saying.
And really, the whole thing comes from it's obviously in your face pretty much. It's 45 feet long, 12 feet tall, 38,000 pounds, and the wrap on it, it's a work of art.
It is. Really.
It's a work of art, and the fact that there's Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy, and Donald Trump on the side, and Iwo Jima, and the Twin Towers, people are like
and the American Eagle, which is now our bird.
Yes, and they have to ask. The number one question we get asked is, they say, "So what's this all about?" Right?
What's this all about?
Yeah. What's going on here? So that, we let them know it's about freedom. It's about common sense. It's about restoring common sense in America. Because there was a point in time where you could vote for who you wanted to vote for without being ugly to one another. There was a point in time where there were two genders, a man and a woman, right? They weren't trying to let a small percentage of the population dictate how the rest of the country is operated. Now, if you want to believe that there's 72 genders, it's America. You have the freedom to believe that, but you don't have the freedoms to make it law. You don't have the freedom to say, hey, guess what? Men belong in women's bathrooms. That becomes a moral issue.
I'm sure that you and I both know people who are trans or gay or, whatever. And I know I do. I have nothing. I have absolutely nothing against them. But when I talk to those people, they agree with me.
I know.
That, women should be not in men's sports, men should not be in women's sports. And if you're going to have anything, have a transgender Olympics.
No, and what's funny is most of what you're saying, most of those people, I don't know many that like personal, right? But they're all over social media. There's a lot of them that said, hey, we were happy when they gave us gay marriage. Now you guys are pushing it too far and you're dragging us into it. Like, leave us out of it.
Right.
But now they've basically hijacked their movement, which their movement got what they wanted, which was their ability to marry each other and live a happy life like the rest of us.
Which I don't see anything really wrong with that. But
no, they listen, that's between them and God.
Right.
At the end of the day, I'm not God. I don't have the say so on what's, I'm not Jesus walking on water either.
Well, Mike is God, right? I just wondering. Oh no, he acts that way. I forgot. But we won't go there. So your next mission is to go to Connecticut. Do you have a time frame on that?
Looking like the summer is where we're going for it. So again, we're a super new organization. We started it really, I would say that end of November, December, during the election, of course, Mike was with the motorhome going to Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, New York, DC, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and we're based here in Stuart, Florida. But, we're getting our ducks in a row is what you could call it.
Right.
And so this summer we do have we have a couple people that do want us to go to Connecticut. And what happens is they'll donate for us to go up there because it's not cheap to fill up a 45-foot motorhome. It's about $500 to fill it up. I put $300 in it yesterday, and it just went over the halfway mark.
So do you use regular or high test?
Well, no, it's diesel fuel.
Oh, it's diesel.
It's diesel,
and that's more expensive.
Diesel
is more expensive. So you getting into this because you got into this, I guess, when you got here.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, and now it's almost like you're the spokesperson of this movement, and that's the way I see it. Because every video I see, if you ever watch any of the videos, you're very well spoken to the people that are actually really rude to you. I'm not so sure I would probably keep my cool as well as you, although I do keep my cool. But some of them are really just downright giving you the finger, calling you a loser, saying that, oh my God, this guy, there's such hatred in the world right now. When you would think, because what was promised back in the day 4 years ago is that he was going to reunite everyone. I'm not sure if he was just talking about his family. But
you talking about Joe Biden?
Yes, sir. It was going to be reuniting everyone. So that reuniting everyone apparently didn't work. Do you think that President Trump has the ability to reunite everyone like Biden was promising to do?
I think it's already happening. Now, of course, you're always going to have a small percentage of people who are not willing to let go of their hatred, their disdained hatred. I mean, it's pretty ugly. There's a Facebook page that I came across that is Donald Trump is not my president, and they're all fantasizing his funeral and wanting to call it a day of like the 4th of July. They're going to name it a national holiday, and the comments are really ridiculous. But that's the difference, right? I can't remember who it was, but there was a guy after the presidential address, a Democrat, who died like 2 hours later. After the presidential address, he was there and everything, and then 2 hours later, he was dead.
Was he a Democrat?
Yeah, he was a Democrat.
Okay.
Did
he get blamed for it?
No. The whole point is In the comment section on a conservative page was all the people praying for his family, saying that's so terrible. Even though this man was a Democrat, wasn't
Right.
on our side, we didn't really agree with anything that he pushed, right? But the comments were just filled with prayers and condolences and love. And then you go on something like, Donald Trump is not my president, and it's filled with hate and anger and misery, and you can just see it. It's almost disgusting, and it's like one of these psychopaths are going to act on it. They already have been acting on it.
Yes, they are.
And they're pushing it out there, hoping that someone does, and it's sick. It's a sick mentality. These people need help, and they need to be called out for being sick people. They're not the party of love and tolerance like they try to claim to be. They're sick people that wishing harm on anybody, regardless if you agree with them or not, is disgusting.
But let's also clear something up. There are some amazing Democratic people, just like there are some amazing Republican people. There are sometimes amazing independent people. So it's not necessarily every Democrat
No.
that is bad. I have people that come to my store, and we can agree to disagree. We can
Right.
we can talk about it. It's not a big deal. But then we try not to get so involved in it. We do know somebody that's down on the road when we pass on Gentle Beach Boulevard to go home. That it does take it to the extreme, but it's pretty cool. Jeannie absolutely loves the
I love
store.
them too.
I believe it's Nautical and Nice.
Nautical but nice. Mel's the man.
Right. So he's even got more signs up right now on
Does
the
he?
outside.
I haven't
yeah.
been.
So it's. I always said to Jeannie, I said, Jeannie, the guy's cutting his clientele in half because he's alienating, of course, those far extreme people who are. I'm not going there because of this.
Yeah.
I'm not going there because. And I got to tell you, I would go there because of who I am, but I can see people not going there. But frankly, he does not give a shit.
But it's a double-edged sword now, Chris. And the reason I say that is because there's people that go there now just because of it. That wouldn't have normally gone.
Because
right?
they want to see what it's about.
Yeah, and not only that, I would have never walked into Nautical but Nice. Okay, never in a million years if it just said Nautical but Nice and had some seashells out there, whatever, right? I went in there because of the signs that were out.
Well, that's true because it's like south of the border over there, and you look over there and you're like, what the is going on here? I'm going to go inside and check this thing out.
And that was in the old location.
Right. The old location's gone now. He's in a new location. And we went into that new location, and Jeannie came out, and she said, oh, my God, I just spoke to the owner. I said, is he a nut? And she goes, no, he's actually really very nice. I'm like, really? I can't believe that. He's got to be crazy. I would love to meet him one day. I'd love him to actually be on the podcast to be able to explain his reasoning behind what he does other than his passion and his belief. Which, by the way, we are in America, by the way. We all have an ability to have a passion and a belief system. You don't have to necessarily agree with what we believe in, and that's okay. But it doesn't make us wrong, and it doesn't make you right, and it doesn't make you wrong, and it doesn't make us right. We have our own opinions about anything. If we want to, like when it rains out, and you like when it's sunny.
You like when it rains?
No,
You're
don't.
a racist.
I don't necessarily like when I was just trying to use an example. It's the only one I can come up with that was totally neutral. So everybody's going to have this different belief system, and it's okay that they believe that way, and it's okay that you believe that way, and it's okay that I believe that way. But now it gets to the point where they're reacting. Okay, instead of just having a belief system. Now they're reacting in a violent way. Let's just take a look at this. President Biden was all about the Green New Deal. All about it. Now, Elon Musk, according to Biden, was a hero.
Oh, yeah. They praised him.
Oh, my God.
The whole left was praising him.
He's got the greatest automobiles. He is the man. Now, all of a sudden, people are burning down his showrooms, right? And it's like, but wait a minute. Didn't they support him? So that means, does that mean the Republicans are burning down the Tesla places? I don't understand. I really don't understand how they can switch from the Green New Deal to saying, oh my God, the Teslas are horrible. Do you know the answer to that?
Yes, it's called Trump derangement syndrome.
Oh.
It's honestly, it's sad. And
Is there medicine for that? Or?
They need Jesus.
Okay.
Maybe some holy water.
I got Jesus around my neck right now. No, but seriously,
really,
they're setting the cars on fire. I don't know if you know that, but when I was growing up, I think it was illegal to set cars on fire.
It's definitely.
Yeah. So and now they pissed off the wrong people. So when they get caught, they are going to spend 20 years in jail, which is like a long time.
Did you see the mugshot of the kid crying that got caught?
No, I did not see that.
He's crying in the mugshot, and he's going.
He's a big tough boy until he got caught, right?
Oh man, he's like sobbing.
Did you? I did see though, and this is the question that came up when Jeannie asked this question. So I'm going to ask it to you. Did you see when they were being deported how our people held down their necks all the way down, and then made them being pushed into the plane that way? And she says, "Well, why do they need to be so mean that way?" Do you know if there's a reasoning behind that? I said maybe they're hiding their identity. I wasn't sure. And of course, shaving of the head, that is a policy when you go to jail, that you typically shave the heads of the people. But did you see on TV where they hold them down like really low and it's really hard for them to walk and it looks like they're really hurting them? Did you see that on TV?
I saw a little bit, but for me, these are violent criminals or gangbangers. It's not like they're taking a little child and, throwing them out the window or anything.
You're talking MS-13. Now, MS-13 on Long Island took over an entire town like Brentwood, New York.
Oh, yeah, and in Colorado, too.
Yeah, and and you're talking, you can walk the street, you would actually just get shot. If you say the wrong thing, you get shot. You just get shot because of an initiation thing. These are real ruthless criminals. These are not, Mr. Jones that happened to come here 20 years ago on a visa or something like that, whatever it is. And he lived a really good life and he paid all his taxes and said, Mr. Jones, you need to go now. Sorry. It's not necessarily all those people. It's the really violent. Hold on. Thank you for mute. So it's those violent people that are being deported, and now there is a judge making the ruling over the president of the United States that what he's doing is against the law.
Yeah, yes. Well, the judge is heading to be disbarred, in my opinion. He needs to be done. The fact that these people, they will side with violent gang members before they even side with Donald Trump tells you all you need to know. And again, brings me to the point, there is something real about Trump derangement syndrome. And with this, even with the motorhome, that has pointed it out drastically. I had a lady look me dead in the face, it's on video, say, I don't see JFK.
Really?
And I said, he's right behind me. She goes, where? I don't see him.
The car, JFK, and his wife is almost as big as the Trump one.
Yeah. Oh, it's big.
It's big. It's very long. So if you miss that, that means that you're missing it on purpose. I mean, honestly. And honestly, the Martin Luther King one is not that small either.
No, they're all pretty much, equally big.
Comparable sizes.
Yeah. They're all 12 feet tall.
Right. So, I mean, it's like, hello. So just, if you do see the RV and it is stopped and you see Blake, ask him intelligent questions. Not questions like, you're an idiot. Why do you have this thing here? No, just say, hey, educate me on this. What is this about? And like you said before, 90% of the people probably do that. It's those few percent of the people, maybe 10% of the people that would be like, why do you have this here? Like the Berry Fresh dude.
Yeah.
And why is this in the parking lot? You took it up. Whole parking lot. And like, you can't even go and have breakfast. To me, it's just not right.
Well, it was a plaza, and it wasn't.
It's a plaza with a bunch of other stores.
Yeah, so it wasn't their parking lot, for one. So that's where she was wrong. And the other thing is, when in the video, you'll notice the cops say it's in a fire lane. He did that because it wasn't actually parked in a fire lane. He was trying to appease the manager who called the cops. Actually, whenever we got off their property, the cops were just nothing but cool with us.
You're right.
And they were just like, hey, man, and we're like, okay, we'll leave Berry Fresh's property, even though I still don't believe that sidewalk is considered their property. They just have are allowed to put their tables on it.
Well, it's not their property. Just like the sidewalks over here, when you go down and the restaurants are over there, it's not necessarily their property, but they do pay like a rent to be able to use that property.
Exactly. So it was ultimately up to the property manager, but we ended up just staying in the motorhome. But to get back to the Mitch thing and why we made that video public on TikTok again, because it was private. Mitch thought the video was going on TikTok, which I did make private, so where only I could see it. There was 3.1 million people on there. I took it off so nobody could see it anymore, right? And there was 3.1 million views. But when we went to go meet him, we were supposed to have breakfast there in Palm Beach Gardens to support him. It was supposed to be Kyle Green. It was supposed to be a bunch of people. I won't name them all, but I'll name Kyle Green, myself, Mike, and a couple other guys, right? And we were going to meet up and support his Palm Beach Gardens location. I text Mitch that morning and I said, hey, is this the right location, right? This is the one we're meeting at, just to confirm. He said, oh, it's canceled. I get on the phone and I call someone.
Hey, thanks for the notice.
Yeah, I get on the phone and I call someone else that's supposed to be going there. He's like, no, I'm on the way right now with my kids. I go, oh, really? So I tell Mike, and Mike's like, oh, we're going. So we show up. When we walk in, Mitch looked like he saw a ghost when he saw Mike and I walk in the Berry Fresh.
So Mitch was actually there.
Yes, he was there because people were supposed to meet in support of, but he just didn't want us there, right? After this whole sit down, and we all agreed that we would show up in support of him, but he didn't. He ended up trying to get us to where we couldn't show up. And so we walk in and then we confront him about, hey, well, Mitch, did you at least call the Jupiter PD and, lift the trespass that you said you would do? And he goes, I never said I would do that. And we go, well, really? You did, actually. We have him on camera saying it, but we never posted. There's a lot we have on camera that we don't post, but we have a plethora of damning evidence that would make him look even worse. But anyways.
So I have a great idea. I do. I really have a great idea. And Mike needs to hear this too, because the RV is really a difficult place to find a parking spot.
Oh, for sure.
Wrap a car.
A car won't do the same thing.
It's the small version of the RV that you can literally park anywhere, if you understand what I'm saying, anywhere. And nobody can say anything because it's a wrap.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I mean,
it's just the baby wrap.
Yeah. It doesn't have the same. I can tell you that right now.
It won't, but it's the same message.
It's not though, because what happens is, right, for one thing, you have less room to put anything on there, but it doesn't have the same empowerment. This message is about empowering people, right? When people see this, they're awestruck, okay? they are like, wow, what is this about? Then they can go inside of it, right? They can walk, they go inside, they're like, oh my gosh, they see Donald Trump's signature, Russell Brand's signature, Grant Cardone's signature, Hulk Hogan's signature.
I don't see my signature on there.
A Christmas card from Donald Barron and Melania. And then they see all the hats that we have that are the real deal MAGA Mall hats. Shout out to Ron Solomon with the MAGA Mall. But it just is a different impact and the impact that we're aiming for. Now, what we've noticed is we will go somewhere and we are going out of our way to find appropriate parking. But now if we're told to move the motorhome and it is their property, we will be like, okay, understood. Is there somewhere better that we could park it? Okay. The problem we had with Berry Fresh is that wasn't their property. The problem we had with Berry Fresh was the manager came out and we already knew what time it was just by looking at her. Okay. She goes, I'm trying to be nice about it. And it's like, no, you weren't. You were trying to kick us out because we had a motorhome. You said it needed to be removed from your property. It wasn't your property. And we already paid for our breakfast and I was still eating.
Whatever happened to that person?
I don't know. And that's another thing. So, the reason, back to Mitch, the reason the video is public again is because, Mitch, you gave us a promise. You went back on your promise. You went back on your word. And so I just made it public again because, we have the right to do that. And really, I don't even think I should have had to take it down because we were the ones that were wronged. We were the ones we went to your establishment to give you money and enjoy your breakfast, your food.
They have good breakfast sausage.
And so I went to just eat there and we get harassed over it. Oh, well, you're handing out. And then you have people trying to push this lie that we were there pushing unsolicited literature. No, we're sitting there having breakfast and we have people come to us and ask us for, again, what's this about?
Right.
Here's my business card.
So I'm actually opening up the invitation for Mitch to come here and to actually debate whether or not this is true or this is not true. Kyle, if you have the guts to actually come into here and actually talk like a civil human being, then you can do the same. I want both sides. Yep. So if you want to do it on the podcast and say your piece on the podcast, and so everybody can see it. So everybody can see what you feel and what you're saying. And Kyle, same thing with you, because I know you do not like the RV as well. If you want to come and talk about that, I'm giving you an opportunity to be able to do that. Now, the people that are in charge, like the Brian Mast of the world and, the people that are in downtown Stewart and all that, they hate your bus? Do they?
No. Actually, we have... What's funny is and again, I'm not in the business of dropping names all over the place, but one guy who is pretty influential, I could say, in the county, he was like, when we were sitting there with Kyle Green and Mitch, he goes, Mitch, with all due respect, I would have handled that a lot worse than these guys did. He goes, I would have told her to F right off.
Yeah. That doesn't get you anywhere, though.
No, but I mean, these people have to understand. This is what I mean. At the end of the day, we are on the same team. So they say. They say we're on the same team. We have people that are like in the Martin GOP, right, that say we're on the same team. But when it comes to power, money, and influence, they're willing to put their morals and the Constitution by the wayside.
Right.
And so that is something I've noticed in this county. It's all about brown-nosing each other to get to the point of having some power and influence. And really what's sad about what I notice about the Republican executive committees is they will back whichever candidate is more favorable, regardless of what they stand for. So just because they have an R in front of their name doesn't make them a good person, doesn't mean that they are on our team.
But wait a minute, an R in front of their name can also have a second letter being I.
What do you mean?
Well, if there's an R in front of their name, it can also be an I, R-I-N-O.
Oh yeah. I was saying, no, for sure, absolutely. And so that's just what I've noticed, and it's really sad that there's people that I thought were on our team, and they decided that they would rather take the donor class and money over our constitutional freedom of speech.
Yes, I mean everybody needs to have their business working properly, but if you are parked legally and you're not making any, how do I even say it? Any
Disturbance?
I guess, because I can't see how it would cause disturbance. All I do is I think that it would gather people to want to take a picture in front of the RV, so it sort of brings in business a bit, unless they hate you. And that's, I guess, what you're trying to try. Nobody needs to hate anybody over an RV. I mean, let's talk about it, really. I mean, really, it's an RV, for God's sakes, guys.
Well, if it wasn't wrapped, it wouldn't be as big of an issue with any of these places.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. So, okay, so you got it wrapped. But you got it wrapped with Republicans and Democrats, and you got it wrapped with the beautiful bald eagle. You got it wrapped with the moonwalk. You got it wrapped. You got it
The
wrapped
Twin Towers,
with the
yeah.
guys like raising the flag.
Iwo Jima, yep.
This is something that is what, when I was a kid, which I'm sure they do not teach now, and that is history. I don't know if they teach history anymore, but this is all the history over the world. There's nothing. Back in the day when I was a kid, it wasn't so divided. It really wasn't. When I listened to my parents, they weren't in hatred of Democrats or Republicans. They just were not. And you voted who you thought was the best candidate, whether they be Republicans or Democrats. Yeah. And to be honest with you, everybody, I do the same. If I find that there's going to be a Democrat that's going to be a better candidate than the Republican, then I would vote for the Democrat. I'm sorry, but I would. Now, did you hear that Newsom has a podcast now?
Yeah, and he's, again, actually, Newsom is trying to save his own face.
Right.
What he's doing is he's smart for this. He's not stupid. Gavin is not a stupid guy by any means. So just because he's made bad decisions and looked stupid publicly doesn't mean he's stupid. Okay, he is saving face for a run in the 2028 election because he knows that the Democrat Party is ruined. They're hanging themselves.
Who
right
do they
now.
have? Who do they have?
And you saw that he was on with Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk and him. And during that, he's like, "Oh, my son loves you," and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you could almost see it. See, I've been in sales for 18 years of my life. That's all I've ever done. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this guy's selling us. He's trying to sell us that he is this moderate Democrat. He's not as far left as the rest of them. But he also has that
charisma about him.
He does. Yeah, he's got that. He's got it. And you know what?
He's not a short little fat bald dude.
No. So we need to watch out for this guy because, even though he reacted horribly with the California fires, people have instant forgetters. And as soon as 28 rolls around, I guarantee you, man, he's going to be running, and he's going to be the pick for the Democratic Party.
I believe he would be. I am not a fan of his, only because of the things that I've seen.
Which one?
Many. But you know what? He did get a lot of enemies, and even from like the elite in California. When their houses burnt down. And I'm talking about big time movie stars and all that other stuff. They were kind of pissed.
Well, who wouldn't be?
Yeah. Hello. Hey, you burnt down my mansion. Thank you. So we love you though, and you have great hair gel. But I mean, I believe that he'll be a viable pick in the next election.
Yeah.
But who is our viable pick?
Vance.
Yes, and he's starting to show himself a little bit more now.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time where he was sort of backed off, and Musk was sort of ahead. But now Vance is starting to get a voice, which I like. And I think that he should get more of a voice. Now, there's a vehicle there that's wrapped.
Yeah, but it doesn't do the same. And it's with the Martin County PAL.
Police athletically, you mean?
Yep.
Okay. And that's okay.
Yeah, but you can't walk in it. It's not gonna,
No,
people
no,
see
no. I'm
it.
saying, why is that rap not controversial and your rap is?
Because it has Donald Trump on it.
Good
And
point.
I'm not saying that it's a good reason. I'm just saying what it is. They see Trump's face on it and they lose it. So, but no, it's nicely done out there. I like that with the American flag. But yeah, with our rap, it's again our focus is freedom and common sense and
Okay,
empowerment.
so how do they get to your website again, and how can they donate?
So at logicalconservative.com. And then just below that is a quick donation button. We also have memberships, so you can check two boxes that say you want this to be a reoccurring monthly. And the memberships do help with the diesel fuel cost, the maintenance cost, being able to drive across the country. And we are expanding. We are going to be getting another motorhome in California.
And what's that going to be wrapped with?
We don't know yet, but it's going to be beautiful. Guarantee it. So every single one of them is going to be dedicated to the area that it's in.
I don't know how you can wrap something so big. I can't imagine how somebody would come up with that and wrap it so beautifully. It's just a great job.
It's actually
it is a work of art.
The man that thought of how to designed it is Mike. Mike designed that wrap. So he sent what he wanted to the place, and they sent him something back. It went through about three or four rough drafts. And I'm talking the first one that these people designed, awful. Second one, still awful. Third one, probably worse than the other two. And then Mike said, no, this is how I want it. This is what it needs to look like. And then you see the end result. So something Mike is very good at is designing and decorating, actually.
He's not very good at self-defense, by the way, but that's besides the point.
I'll let him know.
Anytime you want to go into the ring, I'm okay with that, just so you know. But any last words that you want to say before we close out today?
No, just follow us at logicalconservative.com. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Nothing else?
Yeah,
X?
we have X and YouTube, but our bigger ones are TikTok, of course. We're at 30,000 followers on TikTok. That's getting a lot of leverage. Instagram, Facebook. We're still getting our YouTube and X nailed down perfectly. But yeah, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
All right, guys. I thank you for watching. You have an amazing day. Blake, thank you for coming in.
Thanks, Chris.
Bye.